Welcome to the Explainer. You know, if you've ever wanted to learn a new language, the absolute hardest part is usually just figuring out where to start. It kind of feels like looking up at a massive mountain, right? Well, today we're going to jump right in and look at how you can start speaking about yourself and your world in French. We'll be exploring the totally fascinating, practical building blocks hidden inside this beginner workbook so you can start communicating from day one. Here's our agenda for today. 1. Introductions and greetings. 2. Exploring the family tree. 3. Essential grammar and numbers. And 4. Geography and cultural discoveries. We'll basically structure our learning in concentric circles, starting right in the center with you, and then zooming all the way out to the wider French-speaking world. All right, Section 1, Introductions and Greetings. Because before we can debate deep philosophy or confidently order a croissant, we absolutely need to know how to just say hello. So, right off the bat, knowing your audience is crucial. In French, respect and relationship dictate your vocabulary from the very first word. You're going to use salut for your friends or siblings. It acts like a casual, warm hi. But you'll want to switch to bonjour for a teacher, an elder, or someone you're meeting for the first time. It's more formal and really signals respect. Getting this simple distinction right sets the tone for the whole interaction. And we actually see this play out in the real world all the time, especially on social media. Take Vasu from Chennai, for example. He says, "Salut, je m'appelle Vasu," because he's talking to the internet like up here. Then we've got Amir from Paris, and no way, even James Bond making a playful appearance. They're using these basic phrases to state their names and where they live. It really shows that French is this amazing global tool for connection, bridging gaps all over the internet. Let's look at a conversation in action. Here's 16-year-old Akanksha. She doesn't just drop her name, she strings together simple, powerful sentences to establish her identity. She confidently says, "J'ai 16 ans, I'm 16. But here's the real kicker. Real communication is a two-way street. Notice how she immediately flips the script and asks Pauline about herself. "Et toi? Tu t'appelles Pauline?" That back-and-forth rhythm, that is the true heart of conversational French. All of this builds up to a super practical milestone, ma fiche d'identité, or your identity card. Keep this in the back of your mind as our ultimate goal today. Everything we cover from here on out is designed to help you confidently fill in your own name, address, and background. By the end of this explainer, doing this is going to feel like a total breeze. Moving on to Section 2, Exploring the Family Tree. Now that we can introduce ourselves, let's expand that circle outwards and look at how to describe our immediate family. Visualizing relationships is literally the best way to learn them. Check out La Famille Martin. Up at the very top of this multi-generational tree, we've got 75-year-old Gerard. He's the grand-père. As we move down the branches, the vocabulary naturally falls into place in context. You've got père for father, mère for mother. You can trace the lines to see an uncle or a tante. Seeing it mapped out like a giant puzzle really grounds the words in reality. So, take a quick second and think about your own relatives. Mentally place them into the French roles we just looked at. Who's sitting at the top of your tree? Connecting this new language directly to your real life makes it so much more memorable. When you actually take a blank diagram and start mapping out your own uncle, tantes, and cousins, the language stops feeling like abstract textbook vocabulary. The exact second you assign the word grandmère to your actual grandmother, your brain just locks it in. It creates an emotional connection, which is for sure one of the best tricks for long-term memory. All right, Section 3, Essential Grammar and Numbers. We know who we're talking about, so now we need to establish the structural rules of our world. Don't worry, we'll keep it painless. I know grammar can seem intimidating, but look at how beautifully structured regular ER verbs are, like parler, to speak. You just take the root, parle, and change the ending based on exactly who is doing the talking. Je parle for I speak, and nous parlons for we speak. Once you memorize this one predictable pattern, boom, you've instantly unlocked the master key to thousands of other regular French verbs. Another thing that sometimes trips beginners up is gendered articles. In French, nouns are either masculine or feminine. So the words for the and a change based on that gender and if there's more than one. For example, there's a difference between a specific item like le chien, the dog, and a general one like un enfant, a child. It's really just matching the right pieces together. With a little practice, it'll become total second nature. Let's take a quick breather from the grammar rules and look at some numbers. Numbers are critical, and a massive milestone for any beginner is hitting 100, which in French is 100. A really fun way to practice this is with a jeu de loto, which is basically a bingo board. And why does this matter? Because numbers are absolutely vital for everyday survival. You need them to tell someone your age, dictate a phone number, or figure out your train platform. Practicing them out loud trains your ear to catch them at real conversational speed. Finally, Section 4, Geography and Cultural Discoveries. For our last circle of learning today, we're zooming all the way out to the broader world where French is spoken. French is such a vibrant, international language. Looking at these maps side by side shows its immense global reach. Our workbook characters come from completely different continents, like parts of India, bringing their own diverse cultures into the language. It's a fantastic reminder that French is a global bridge, spoken across Africa, the Caribbean, North America, and Asia. And a huge part of cultural fluency is knowing the local shorthand. Here are 5 essential acronyms you'll see everywhere in French media and daily life. You've got the SNCF and TGV, which are the absolute backbone of French train travel. PDG is basically the equivalent of a corporate CEO. And then you have major global organizations like the ONU for the UN and the OMS for the World Health Organization. Seeing these in context, like recognizing a sleek TGV train or spotting the World Health Organization logo, proves that learning French is about way more than just grammar. It actually unlocks your ability to navigate international travel, understand global news, and interact with world-shaping institutions in their native tongue. It's the whole package. We have covered a ton of ground today, right from that very first friendly salut to mapping out your family, decoding verb patterns, and understanding train acronyms. The tools are literally in your hands now. So with this whole new world of connection waiting for you, whose fiche d'identité are you going to ask about first? Thanks for tuning into this explainer. Keep exploring and happy learning.